Hi everyone. So for the 2020 buyer, there's probably going to be a couple of things to take into account. You really need to start considering looking back in time, perhaps even further than say 2019 and back into early 2018 or maybe even 2017. And the reason I say this is because of the reduction in values that occurred through the 2018-19 markets and what occurred through the back end of 2019 in the spring, where we had a significant increase in values. So currently, the values of property are probably more in line with what things were doing back at the end of 2017 and into 2018. So when you are looking at setting budgets for properties that you're considering purchasing at the moment, obviously the best sales to consider are the ones that have occurred most recently. So I would be suggesting within the last two months, probably at a max. That's difficult at the moment, given that there hasn't been a lot of sales through December and January, but as the year progresses, keeping your comparable sales as current as possible is really important. But if there isn't anything, you may be better off looking back into the later 2017, 2018 market, because the sales are probably going to be more relevant than what perhaps sales 6 months ago would be. So just something to bear in mind when assessing values and looking at what you might be prepared to pay for a property. Looking at the current market, so we've got a property that sold last week. So last week was really the opening of the 2020 auction market. There'd been a few weekends before that, but last weekend was probably the first main one, and going forward will be even more supplied. So last weekend we saw an auction at Grandview Grove in Paran, Unit 4 at number 20. It sold for $801,000. Really well presented 2-bedroom apartment at the front of the block. Great outlook over Grandview Grove, which is one of Paran's most attractive streets. There was competition, two buyers on that property, and it was declared on the market at around $770,000. So activity is really starting to build, even particularly in that older style apartment market where first home buyers and investors are still quite active. This weekend, we're really starting to see things build. So there's an expectation from the REIVs that there'll be around 1,200 auctions. So it's the first Super Saturday for 2020. And things will build even further on the 29th of February, where we've got an expectation of around 1,400 auctions. So 2 in a row, and that's slightly to do with the fact that the market's compressed a little bit, because the weekend after that is obviously the Labor Day long weekend. So we sort of get 2 weekends in what would normally be 3. So supply is starting to really pick up and a lot more choice becoming available now for buyers. Thank you.